No, this is Mr. Hornby 3 with, what will be the first of my final 3 videos of this year. But, roundtable discussion, haven't done one in a while. Time to talk about wrestling, all wrestling, not just WWE. But, also going to talk about, all the, the presidential election yesterday and all that stuff, and Collin Kaepernick. And I'll get to Collin Kaepernick and all that later. Now, before I start this, I want to put out some breaking news that happened yesterday. For those of you who watch my channel who probably haven't seen anything on IGN or anything, Young Justice Season 3, it's going to happen. IGN reported it yesterday. I'm very excited for it. Hopefully they freaking cancel that stupid Teen Titans Go to put it back on. But, now if only we can get a Season 2 of Wolverine and the X-Men. But that'll never happen. Alright, so I'm going to talk about wrestling, and one of the main things we're going to talk about is the whole TNA situation that's been going on, the Billy Corgan lawsuit, all the stuff I've been hearing about the past few weeks and all that. But first, let's get to WWE. I'll explain this in a minute, but no. Alright, so WWE. Pretty much don't got too much to complain about it except for Raw. Well, actually, I do. Raw's ratings have reached the highest lows that they had, and I think it was just like a few weeks ago. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're back up by now. Or going back up, because they mostly had this hype between Goldberg and Brock Lesnar going on. But, I don't know. See, this is the problem I was worried about when Raw decided to go 3 hours, because WCW Nitro, when they went 3 hours, that's when they started getting really bad. Although people were clamoring for it, and I'm sure TNT was clamoring for it, but Nitro was getting really bad. But see, at the time when WWE went to 3 hours, I believe it was like back in, I think 2012 or so, I'm like, you know what, WWE will probably handle it better than WCW did, which, was I wrong about that? Because look at Raw now. And with the brand split going on, and with, SmackDown being the farly superior show, one, because it's 2 hours, two, because they spend time to develop their characters. Shell of the camera fell. The camera fell. Who's this? Nah, I was saying something. Right now. I'm gonna have to re-say what I was saying. Alright, but yeah, with SmackDown beating it out almost every week in the rating, being a farly superior show, because it's 2 hours, and they spend a lot of time developing their characters, and they give their talent something to do on SmackDown. It's not like Raw, where you see guys for like one Raw, and then you don't see them again for 3 months. I mean, the Cruiserweight division, they really need to, they haven't done much to spark interest in that. The only thing that they're trying to do is 205 Live, which I guess is what they want to do, but I don't know how it's going to work, because if they're doing it the way they're doing it on Raw, it's going to suck, but if they do it the way they did it with the Cruiserweight Classic, it'll be good. But, so, I don't know, Raw, maybe they should move back to 2 hours, because it's just been so bad since they started the 3 hour format, especially these past couple of years. It's been very bad. And with the roster split in half, with SmackDown guys and Raw guys, it's tough. So, yeah, I don't know what to say. Now let's go to New Japan, which is doing a lot of good things right now. We're on the verge. We're only a couple months away from the next Wrestle Kingdom, which I believe Kenny Omega is challenging uh, probably Okada for the IWGP World Heavyweight title, which I honestly hope Kenny Omega wins. I'm a big Kenny Omega fan. I do not care for Okada. I like other wrestlers on New Japan. I just don't care for Okada. He's just something about him I don't like. I just don't. And a lot of people compare Tanahashi to the Japan version of John Cena, but heck, the way they try to force feed Okada, he's the Japan version of freaking John Cena. I mean, both those guys could wrestle better than John Cena, but but I'm just getting with the with the way they're forcing these guys onto you. Is what I'm saying. But yeah, also this thing with the Roman. Also I want to get into. All right. Let me go back to WWE real fast because I wanted to mention this. Let's talk about the world titles, which you got the Universal title, which, by the way, my wife did this one. Used the rubber WWE World Heavyweight title because my son got that one. But came with the Roman Reigns figure. But the way they're booking Kevin Owens as the Universal Champion is really... They're booking him bad. I mean, they're not booking him the way they did Seth Rollins when Rollins was champion. But they had him lose to Roman Reigns about a month or so ago in a steel cage match, which apparently, according to rumors, they're planning for after Survivor Series just to have Roman, I guess, have the U.S. title and challenge Kevin Owens for the Universal title, which makes no sense to me. But I don't know. Roman Reigns shouldn't fight for the title. Do the Jericho turn on Owens, and they fight for the Universal title at Roadblock. Have Roman feud with someone for the U.S. title. I mean, plenty of guys you could have Roman feud with. One thing they need to do is turn Roman Reigns heel because apparently he's still not getting over, even though they play him in the U.S. title picture. He's still not getting over. So make him heel. If y'all want him over, just make him heel because if you're going to be stubborn like you were with John Cena, then Roman Reigns' experiment's going to be a complete failure. But, who knows. Alright. So yeah, New Japan, like I said, they're doing some good stuff. I know I just jumped from WWE to New Japan, then back to WWE. But now I'm going to talk about, but like I said, New Japan doing some good stuff. Now I'm going to get to Ring of Honor. The only problem with Ring of Honor lately is they are getting depleted and thinner on talent. They're relying on a lot of New Japan guys to help out because you're losing guys like Roderick Strong. You're losing freaking a ton of your talent to either TNA or WWE NXT. And I mean, they're still doing good, and they still put on good matches and all that. And Adam Cole being world champion is really helping, but they're heavily featuring the Bullet Club. This is why a while back on a written review, I had put up something about there's either going to become two factions of the Bullet Club, or they're going to turn on Kenny Omega, and Adam Cole's going to take over as the leader because the way they've been featuring the Bullet Club on Ring of Honor lately, I think that's what they're planning on doing, but who knows? Because, like I said, the stuff we're seeing from New Japan Pro Wrestling is a year and a half behind from what, is currently going on. But, checking on websites and that's how I know about Kenny Omega and all that, But, also, like I said, Ring of Honor has been heavily featuring TNA, or New Japan talent with them. Which I think it's a good partnership. I mean, both companies really help each other out. But, now to the main event. And then I'll get to the Alexa stuff and that after this. But to the main event. TNA. The Billy Corgan situation with the lawsuit and all that. Now, apparently, what was going on is TNA didn't have no money to fund some tapings, which Corgan funded it with his own money. He also So he bailed him out with a bunch of TV tapings, and I guess he bailed him out numerous times. Then Bound for Glory came up, and they almost didn't have the money to do that pay-per-view, which is their biggest pay-per-view of the year. And so I guess Fight Network or whatever supported them and gave them the money for that, or some other organization, like, I don't know. But, and then, Billy Corgan filed a lawsuit and this and that because he wants to own TNA and get Dixie Carter out of power. It's just a complete, there's so much going on with TNA right now. It's just a complete mess. And it really saddens me because I've had a lot of hope for TNA. And I've kept hope for TNA throughout the years. Even, I was watching it up until all this mess started with the Corgan stuff right before Bound for Glory. I haven't been watching it consistently, but it's just been a complete, utter mess with TNA. I mean, it's just, Jesus Christ. I think the best thing for that company would to eventually be to go out of business because and they find ways to survive every single time, but I think the best thing for them right now is to go out of business because, that or find a way to get rid of Dixie Carter because that company is getting further and further closer to what happened to WCW, which really saddens me because I loved WCW until they started doing stupid stuff, and then they just freaking fell off the radar. David Arquette, world champion. The terrible booking they had toward the end of their run. Jeff Jarrett is their WCW champion. I mean, come on now. And I don't think many people bring up the Jeff Jarrett saga. I mean, he was always a great mid-card guy, but he never, ever should have been world champion. But then all the stuff that happened with Bash at the Beach 2000 with Booker T and all that made things even worse. And, it's just, TNA, I don't know what to say about them. I really hope somehow or another they could be saved, and I wish Billy Corgan would have got ownership of TNA because he could probably take it places that Dixie Carter wouldn't take it. Because Dixie Carter is a freaking idiot, and, when she loses guys like AJ Styles and all that, that's pretty sad and pathetic. But, I don't know, and I know this video is probably running a little long, but, Hawk, stop. Alright, I'm going to get to the presidential election. Then I'm going to talk about Collin Kaepernick. Then I'm going to pose a question and give my opinion about names of titles and what they mean anymore. But, alright, so honestly, this year, I didn't care for either candidate. I wasn't rooting for either one of them to get in office. My wife, she wanted Hillary, and, I would prefer Hillary only because maybe she could have did what Bill did when Bill was president. But, people wanted Trump. I understand that. They wanted something different. Someone that, they think could make America great again, but who knows? We'll see in 4 years. All I know is I didn't care about the presidential, and I'll be honest, the thing Alec Baldwin said, Hulk, get off the table. The thing Alec Baldwin said on the last, Trump, Hillary skit that Saturday Night Live did just this past Saturday, he talked about feels disgusting talking about the election this year, which is how I felt. I felt disgusted every time I had to talk about the election this year. Now, hopefully, we get better candidates in 2020 or whatever. Hopefully, we get better candidates by then. So, hopefully, we have better candidates that'll freaking actually help this country get to where we need to get to be great again. But, that's just my opinion. I've seen people have mixed. My wife, my son, my daughter are not happy about Trump being president. My uncle and that, they're happy about it. Like I said, I don't really care. I took the stand that my freaking great uncle took, and I never thought I'd agree with that guy on anything. Especially if you knew my history with my great uncle, but yeah. But now to Collin Kaepernick. Now, initially, when they started this crap about not standing for the national anthem and all that garbage, I was pretty ticked off. I gave him an FU shout out, and then not too long ago, I was hearing about how he was, helping, he was supporting them people who's affected by these crooked cops out there that keep shooting black people for no reason because they're just racist. But well, just racist and shoot black people for no reason, which and they get away with it because that's how it is. Government's crooked, the cop. There it is. But yeah, cops are crooked, government's crooked. Enough said about that. But now I want to pose a question to anybody who watches my videos or whatnot. I rarely get comments, but if someone does eventually comment, I would like you to let me know. Do you think the name... wait a minute, let me rephrase this real fast. In a world where we got a world championship called the Universal Championship, we got a women's world championship called the SmackDown Women's Championship, and we got WWE, our World Tag Team Championships called SmackDown Tag Team Championship. And in a world that just recently got rid of a title that was a mid-card title called the King of the Mountain title, and a title now called the Grand title in TNA, and another thing too, the never openweight title in New Japan, which is supposed to, I forgot what they said, but it wasn't supposed to be for like guys like Ishii and that. But does the name of a championship, of a world championship, or any kind of top championship mean anything anymore in the world of wrestling? Because I don't know. Sometimes it's just like, especially like with the booking with Kevin Owens, who's the Universal Champion on Raw, and then that's supposed to be he's supposed to be the world champion of Raw, but yet the guy that's the U.S. champion is getting booked better than he is half the freaking time. So, and do you think it matters? And in my opinion, I don't think it does, because when you got a mid-card title underneath the world heavyweight title called the King of the Mountain title, which usually would mean world champion, because you're saying you're the king of that mountain of that wrestling industry, but you're calling it the King of the Mountain title. And the Grand title, in a way, that's that's a better, mid-card name than King of the Mountain, but still not great. But, honestly, if, let me know what you think, if names of titles in wrestling matter anymore, if you're a wrestling fan. So, I don't know, but that'll do it for this video. Sorry it was a little longer than usual. Like I said, I got 2 more left. Tomorrow night, I'm talking about the Dragon Ball Super, and then I'm going to do a review of Power Rangers and Turtles over the weekend. I will have Facebook Live too. But please like this video, leave a comment, subscribe for more. Follow me on my Facebook fan page, Mr. Hornby 83 Topics. I do post mostly regularly on that. Follow me on Twitter at Mr. Hornby 83. I don't post as much on that as I do Facebook. So that'll do it. Till tomorrow night. Peace out.